Tell you what, it's like been the best kid babysitter. Like it's turned into a kid playground.
Yeah, it is.
Kids love it, which is nice. Like having the kids outside wanting to take the van places, wanting to play in the van, wanting to be out there versus inside watching someone else play with toys on YouTube Kids is...
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Coaches on Couches.
Being slouches.
Yeah.
I went a little longer with the... I wanted to mix
strung
it up.
it out a bit.
Wanted to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, we finally got Stitch back on the couch here in her whatever this thing is called.
I would say Little Red Riding Hood,
it's a specific French Bulldog hoodie.
I like how there's little ear things there.
It's called like
what is this,
Snorf or Snurp. It's a pocket, I think.
It's like for hands, though. Be like...
Yeah, well, it's not for hands.
Dog's got no hands.
No. So today we're going off kind of our norm a little bit. But we're going to talk about vans.
Vans.
Adventure
People
vans.
are like, what? Vans?
Yeah.
What's that have to do with training and performance?
Yeah. You're about to hear. So we recently got a couple of really cool adventure vans. And we'll kind of go into why and why we chose what we chose and all that kind of stuff. But the trend, the van life, athlete van life trend is, making its way to our area. I'd say it's pretty popular in the Northwest, somewhat in the Northeast, but it's making its way kind of all over. It's it's been a huge thing in like Europe forever. If you've ever watched Tour de France, you see the vans on the side of the road.
It's almost an extension of the more minimalist tiny home style, movement, like cutting back on things and increasing adventure.
Right, experience. Yeah. So we'll get into that in just a moment. I'm Coach Dale Sanford.
I am Coach Bryant Funston. We are the co-owners of BPC Performance Coaching, where we specialize in helping time-crunched athletes optimize their busy schedules so they can maximize their athletic performance. Every BPC coach is trained in our 5 Pillars coaching system, which is developed over the last decade through our work with athletes of all ages and ability levels, from fresh off the couch to world championship competitors. You can find out more about BPC by going to buildpeakcompete.com. Check us out on Facebook and YouTube at Build Peak Compete, or all up on that Instagram at BPC Performance.
There you go. Nailed it.
Whew.
It's pretty good.
I think my heart rate went up a little bit there.
All right, we'll get to our van chat here in just a minute. But first, as always, shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
We have small shout-outs today. We had
it's kind of off season.
Yeah, we've got our house pain class that we do every winter, and we had our midterm FTP test last evening or Tuesday evening.
Yep, 2 nights ago.
And we actually had some really good results. Some of them were pretty surprising because the first half of the program is all pretty much efficiency and sweet spot training. We get into a little bit of threshold toward the test, but not much.
Yeah, most of it is under threshold work.
Yeah. So for people to gain even 10 or more watts on a however many weeks it's been.
Yeah, about 6
weeks. Of sweet spot and efficiency training. It says a lot about the work that we're doing. So
it was cool. Like with Training Peaks, we get those emails from a lot of folks where if there's a new threshold set, whether it's heart rate or power, it like shoots an email. And I know like as we're driving home, because we did the in-person, there was like all kinds of, a new threshold record has been set, a new threshold has been set, a new threshold has been set. It's like, nice. That's always good to see.
It's good. And it's so much fun to like do the in-person FTP tests. Like if you've never done it, well, if you've never done an FTP test, you don't really know what we're talking about. Threshold tests, basically the method we use is a 5-minute all out and 20-minute all out, and it's painful. But we get a lot of times close to 30 people in a room, all doing it at the same time, and it really helps. The competitive atmosphere helps everybody perform a little bit better.
And looking over and seeing someone else suffering too and not giving up.
Oh yeah,
so much more motivating.
Oh yeah, it's
versus when you're at home by yourself on your own trainer or out on the road by yourself, and you're like, maybe I'll just do this tomorrow.
Yeah, it's real easy to slack.
Yeah, once it starts sucking, everyone would start trying to come up with excuses. But mentally, when you stay tough there, you learn a lot. I mean, I think that's the more you do hard efforts like that, the better you get at doing hard efforts like that.
Absolutely.
Because you can pull from past experience. You kind of know closer what your body can handle, those sensations your body gives you. And it's a learning process. So pushing deep and seeing people push deep. Absolutely. It was kind of more fun on our end, though, where we just got to stand around and motivate people.
Yeah.
And like cheer them on. Pain-free while they were all suffering like dogs.
I always feel like when I'm like walking up and down the aisle, like yelling at people, that I need to have I feel like I need to have like a light show and fireworks and like flamethrowers and stuff going just to like really jazz people up.
Liven it all up.
Yeah.
No, instead we had some sweet country music going for them.
Nah, it wasn't all country music. The country music was tried to be timed during the rest periods, and it just wasn't timed super well. So next up, we're gonna hit a quick good luck here. We've got the Camp Shelby gravel.
Stop number 2 on the Mississippi Gravel Cup Series.
Yep.
The first one's the one I went and did a couple weeks ago. But number 2 Saturday. It looks like weather is going to be a little better, so that's a plus.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's options: 100-miler, 50-miler, 25-miler. So there's plenty of options out there. And also another good luck. We've got some folks from Memphis area. They're going over to Sumatanga.
Oh yeah,
which is over in Alabama. It's a ways off. It's like 4 or 5 hour drive, I think.
Yeah.
But it's kind of the first kickoff for a lot of folks in the southeast, or at least our area, for road racing season.
Yeah.
So.
And then we also have a good luck. A couple folks going over to Mountain Mist 50K in the Huntsville area.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. And in fact, the adventure van.
One of
these
the
adventure rigs are heading over there.
One of the rigs is going to Mountain Mist.
So if you're going, be on the lookout.
Yeah, be on the lookout for old Blue, or we call it Grit. Grit is the blue van.
Very Memphis. We went Memphis with it.
We went
Grit, grind, and Blue.
Yeah.
You're my boy, Blue.
So we'll get into it a little bit. Again, the trend of van life. And adventure vanning, I guess you could call it, because we're not really like trying to live in these things, but they do make for like really fantastic weekender vehicles. I guess we're considered more weekend warrior type adventurers here. We got other stuff to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Got a little some other stuff to do.
And convincing our wives and kids to go live in a van might be a challenging
That's
thing.
a tough one.
Unless it was down by the river.
Only if it's down by the river.
Live in a van down by the river.
Yeah, so like kind of the big reasons why did we gravitate toward van life and like having a van to take to events, this athlete van life, so to speak. Besides the fact that the vans are awesome. I grew up in vans. I mean, my dad always had a big van. They had 4 kids, so we always traveled in a big van. And then we've had the BPC van for 7-8 years now.
Yep.
And that's a 12-passenger, and we've got bike racks on the top, so we can fit about 10 bikes on the roof and bring people to events and stuff like that. But there's always it was always like we wanted the couple other amenities or conveniences that, we saw some people like bringing their campers and stuff to events and stuff like that. And so we wanted those amenities, but didn't want to have to lug around a giant camper or like, we kind of noticed that they were like the last to get to the race because they had to like pack up their camper and everything and then find a parking spot for it.
It's not as convenient. Pain train. Yeah, just the convenience of taking off for a weekend or, heading to a race for a weekend. There's already plenty of stuff you're trying to pack, and if you're trying to coordinate with a big camper trailer or something that takes extra work, it's, we live in a day and age, it seems like, where everyone, the more convenient something is, the more likely you are to do it. We talk about before, like, if you're trying to get workouts done in the morning, have all your stuff set in advance, out, ready to go. Because again, if it's easy to make excuses not to do something if it takes some work to get it done. So the more convenient it can be, and that's kind of the beauty of these vans, is that it is so convenient.
They're super convenient.
Just hop in them and rock and roll.
That was one of the main things, was just it had to be a get up and go vehicle. But at the same time, we wanted to kind of cut down on some travel costs because, if you race enough, it gets pretty expensive, getting hotels every night. Sometimes you can split them with other people, sometimes not. But bringing an entire family is a little bit tricky. A lot of times trying to find the right place to stay. And but the other big thing is like most of the races that we go to anyways, they stage at a state park, something like that.
15 miles from town, 20 miles from town.
Yeah. The closest place to stay is 20, 25 minutes away. The big, Dirty Kansas is a perfect example. All I hear right now with people like, people don't know if they're going or not, but people are already booking hotels. And so like everything's booked up and there's like nowhere to stay anywhere close. So people are freaking out. But there are, and I've seen several vans, at Dirty Kanza. You sleep in it close to the start line, and then it's your support vehicle, if you have a crew with you or whatever. So, I mean, it's like a perfect scenario for an event like that.
Well, and I think these adventure vans are perfect for people that, like the ultra marathon scene, which is typically often, national parks or, at the start of these trails, and the gravel scene that seems to be exploding right now. Everywhere you look, if you go to Velo News or Cycling News, you never used to see any topics about gravel, even as far as last year. Like the only thing that would pop up would be Kansas. And already leading into this new year, there's numerous articles talking about gravel and how it's kind of where a lot of the eyes are right now. But these vans are like perfect for that. And I got firsthand experience of it a couple weeks ago. Took the van down to Oxford, a close trip. But being able to have, it was a muddy, wet, nasty day. And being able to have the water pump, the hot water, being able to spray off the drivetrain midway through. We actually took like a quick, 2 minute stop. We refueled at the 50-mile mark or whatever. We sprayed our drivetrains off. Me and the folks that were with us had all of our gear, and we were ready to rock and roll for another 50 miles. And I wouldn't have made it if not for that. But it was so convenient to have all my gear, to be able to get ready inside the van. It was cold in the morning. It was wet. I was changing in the van. Everything was there, packed it the night before, and was able to shower off after the race. So I showered, had a towel, dried off, went straight home. I actually went to your kid's birthday party right afterwards.
That's right.
You didn't even know I didn't shower, did you? Formal shower. But it's like, experiences like that, it went from making something that, it would have been fun anyway to go and race, but making it that much easier, that much more fun, that much more convenient to do. And the fact that you could go anywhere and do that same thing. If it was further away, I could have gone and just stayed overnight.
Right.
And instead of getting up at 3 a.m. or 4 a.m., you get up at 7 a.m. or 6 a.m. while everyone else is racing to get there, and you're sipping on your coffee, relaxed and ready to rock.
Yeah. I mean, we did that for the Natchez Libre. Went up, slept near the start of the race.
Yeah.
And had a warm car to get dressed in, warm vehicle to get dressed in, change in afterwards. I took a shower outside, or just kind of hosed off outside with hot water after the race.
Yep.
And the same thing at the outdoors gravel grinder. Parked close to the start, finished the race. My bike was demolished with mud, and I had wrecked, and my knee was split wide open, and I literally just turned on the hot water, sprayed myself off, cleaned the wounds out, and then sprayed the bike off and put it in the back of the van.
Yep.
I mean, it was super, super convenient. I can't stand putting a like dirty, muddy bike in a car, any car. So it's just like you said, it's the convenience factor.
I think the thing I like, or am most excited about, we haven't done a ton of it yet, is, we talked about, we've had the BPC van for a long time. We put 10 bike mounts on the roof because it's so much more fun traveling to an event with other people.
Absolutely.
Like, racing's fun, but that's just one part of the whole thing. I get as much enjoyment out of the trip to, the trip from, when you're traveling, with other people and telling stories and joking and connecting with other folks. And this is something that's going to make it easier as well for families to go along with, because it's not fun for your family to go watch you race, to go sit in the hot sun.
Right.
And be out there for 2-3 hours or whatever. But if you have a home portable base with conveniences of home, air conditioning, food, refrigerator, like all the stuff that can keep your kids happy and entertained. Weekends where normally we'd be gone and feeling guilty about being away from the family, now it's something where the family can go with, and we can look for side trips once we are at a location. So it's like a win-win. So that's kind of what I'm most excited about. Yeah,
absolutely. Like, just having that home base is huge. Just having a hangout place, because I mean, these vans have big awnings on them. Here, I'll just throw up a picture here. These vans have a giant awning on it, so you're like, you can, if it's raining, you can be out of the rain. You can have people gather at your vehicle, so all your stuff's there. Selfishly, all your stuff's there. But at the same time, it's like I was saying before, we've had people who bring their camper, even a smaller camper, to an event for that reason.
Yep.
But they it's a pain to get that thing in the parking lot with everyone else.
Yep.
Stuff like that. These are like a normal van size, so they're really easy to drive, park in a normal parking lot, stuff like that. So it's just like so much more convenient, in my opinion, than a motorhome or a camper.
Well, I think kind of how this relates to our normal base of people we're talking to as well. Your time crunched folks.
Yep.
We talk about optimizing your busy schedules. And this is one of those things that allows you to get up, go to new places, maybe go train more than you would otherwise, because you can take your family with you. You can turn a training weekend into a family trip, versus, you feeling guilty about going off and doing something. So I think being able to use these vans as a way to go to cool places, get great training in, connect with your family, have your family, go to adventure, build memories. It's like, it's a way I feel like it's a way to bring training, family, and everything together, and cool experiences together, versus, what we normally do, which is either we go off by ourselves or we're constantly doing the same, going through the motions every weekend. Doing our normal stuff. So great way to mix it up and still, be connected to the family.
Absolutely. So, well, I guess we kind of put it out there that we we bought our vans from a company called VanDOit that's in Blue Springs, Missouri. It's near Kansas City.
Yep.
And so again, I'll throw these pictures up here again. So we've got the one that you're seeing, if you're listening, we have a high roof model that has like a,
which is they're Ford Transit vans that are built out.
Yeah. So, VanDOit builds everything on the Ford Transit. They're super modular, all that stuff. We'll go into that stuff in just a second, but I'll just put it out there. I did like tons of research. Like usually when I research something, it's like,
eventually I was like, we should get the van so you can actually get back to doing normal work, Dale.
Yeah. So I did so much research on different companies, platforms, DIYing things. Like I literally at one point had a hole saw up to the side of the BPC van because I was going to outfit the back of it.
Dale, I don't know if that's a good idea. Let's think this through.
And I was like, there might be a better way.
There could be.
And so within all those hours of research, I came upon VanDOit and what they were doing. And there's a lot of reasons we chose those over, your typical camper van, platform, which is like, I would say maybe a little bit more homey or cozy or whatever. Yeah. But I would say a camper van and an adventure van are two a little bit different platforms.
Yeah.
I will say, like, full disclosure, at this point, we are ambassadors of VanDOit, but that came well after we had already decided, like, to go with them, for these vans. So we just believe in what they're doing and the product they're putting out. So one of the big things, like you were saying, is it's built on the Ford Transit platform. And you basically you got Dodge ProMaster, you've got Sprinter vans, Mercedes Sprinter vans, and the Ford Transit are basically the big three. And in my opinion, Mercedes are super expensive with high recurring costs of maintenance and stuff like that.
Yeah, they're the diesel.
Yeah, most. Yeah,
typically.
The ProMaster, I've never been a fan of. I don't know.
Aesthetically, not as pleasing.
Yeah, aesthetically, not as pleasing. There's also that Nissan Envy is an option. Some people are building on those. That one again is an aesthetic thing. Never really been a fan. But like the big draw really to the Transit is Ford makes a really dependable vehicle, and this was like something that I researched and then went to our sources. So we have friends in the automotive industry that's their job.
Shout out.
Yeah. To know what parts break on things and stuff like that. So, and when we asked them, they basically said the engines that are in these vans are probably the most bulletproof engines that Ford's built in the last 20 years. So that was pretty comforting.
Yes,
when we were,
definitely.
Looking at
just being able to pretty much anywhere in the U.S., if something does happen, you can find someone who can work on a Ford.
Right.
It's not, you don't have to find a diesel mechanic. You don't have to find a gas station that also has diesel. It allows you to be.
Every small town in America has a Ford dealership.
Yeah.
So it's comforting to know that if we're out there on a trip, especially if it's an important race, and you have something go wrong, then you're going to be able to get it fixed and be back on the road quickly.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing. The other thing was that the Ford Transit, and especially with the VanDOit build, basically, is actually pretty affordable. Looking into, you can, if you do the research, camper vans and van builds are freaking ridiculous.
Yeah. It can be very pricey for sure.
Easily over the cost of a house. More than a similar cost to a massive RV. It gets ridiculous. But the VanDOit platforms, they start at like 49, something like that, and that's for a complete build.
Yeah.
That
includes the cost of the van. A lot of places you go to and you take a van to them and then they fab out the inside kind of based on the specs that you want.
Right.
But you provide the van and you still pay 50 plus for the build out. So you're looking at some decent money invested.
Yeah. And the reason they can do that is because they actually are a van leasing company.
Yeah.
So they get the vehicles that dealer incentives and they like a Ford dealer would get, and then they lease them to people, and then they build off of like the 1 year off lease vehicles with just they have a few thousand miles on them, and they're still really good shape and clean and all that stuff. But you get the depreciation on it, you get the dealer incentives, you get all that kind of stuff, because they also are a Ford certified upfitter. Yeah. So like everything is still under warranty, which is huge.
I like warranties.
Yeah. So, they are pretty affordable. I think the ones that we ended up getting, it's pretty much similar to buying like a nice Tahoe or a Suburban, something like that.
Yeah, cars aren't cheap now.
Yeah, for real.
Exactly. Yeah, like the high roof model, our grind version is it's only 1 foot longer than the Expedition that we have. And we've got the shorter version of the two Expeditions, so you're kind of thinking about size of these things.
Yeah.
But I can stand up, so I'm 6'3", and I can stand up without bending over inside, which is super nice and convenient.
And that's like a good point, because there are like within basically VanDOit has two models. They have a do model and a live model. And the live model is kind of what it sounds like. It's a little bit more laid out for like living in, spending a lot more time in, whereas the do model is like super modular, and everything can be taken in and out. And
some people put motorcycles in them, turn them into
snowmobiles.
Yeah.
I mean, and then you can have a bunk bed in it, at the same time. So it's super modular, super modular builds. It's kind of like, everyone's described it as like the Swiss Army knife of vans.
Side note, when I got my first ever Swiss Army knife, I was so jazzed because it's a multi-tool, right? You can do anything with it.
Absolutely.
And same thing with these. Like go anywhere, do anything. Super quick, super convenient. Allows you to go to places you probably wouldn't otherwise, and allows you to be spontaneous too.
Yeah.
If you can park anywhere, sleep anywhere, go anywhere, I mean, essentially you're only limited by your own imagination.
Yeah. So back on like models, they have do and the live, and then you can kind of add and subtract. It's really cool. You just have like a menu of things you want to add and subtract. But I mean, overall, the like build experience is pretty easy. You kind of go through it and you put what you want and you see the money racking up, and then you can remove some
subtract,
things and you can see what the total is. But it's all included, so it's like kind of an all-in.
For someone who's maybe interested in getting a van, what would you say the essentials are of the things that we went with, or even things that maybe we didn't put in ours that you think should have been added? What are the essentials for someone who's going to maybe go do an ultra or go to a gravel race or go?
The water system. You can either get like a kitchen pod, which actually has a sink and stuff like that, or you can get what our do model has is like a removable hot water system that hooks into that kitchen pod, so you can use it with the kitchen pod. Or you can use it as like an outdoor shower. You can even take it out and move it out of the back of the van and set up a shower tent like we have, and stuff like that. So hot water system, absolutely. Yeah,
I would say definitely. That's probably the top of the list of convenience items for sure that makes it enjoyable versus...
Yeah. I mean, your bed choices are pretty much based on the model you get. The Liv has the queen bed that's lifted on hydraulic, so it'll go up to the ceiling, act as a shelf for your gear, and then you can drop it down when you want to go to sleep. And then the do model is kind of like the modular beds, where it can be two full beds, two twin beds. It can be a couch. It can be one of each. It can be one and take one out.
Could be one at a desk.
Yeah, I mean, it's unlimited possibilities on that. So, the bed system is already in there. I would say definitely the Thule awning on the outside. The vans are so tall, you don't want a bagged awning that you have to climb up there and unzip and like roll out and roll back in.
Yeah.
The Thule, it just has the crank, and you just crank it out, put the legs down, and then you have like an 8 or 9 foot awning off the side of the vehicle. It's pretty clutch. For our area, obviously air conditioning, and if you're, if you're in like the cooler temps, they also have the like S-bar diesel heaters that are pretty clutch, keeping the indoor inside toasty warm when the van's not on.
Yeah.
The things that are already included pretty much in every build they do, their like electrical systems are top notch. So there's like 300 amp hours of battery power, which, if you know electricity, you got about half that. You can realistically use about half that before you damage the batteries. But the system in it knows how much voltage to keep in the batteries and when to shut it off. So it protects the batteries from damaging from going too low, and it protects them from overcharging. And so like all of their builds have this electrical system in it, and it's pretty impressive when you look at it.
For someone who's doing the do-it-yourself, route, that's generally
that's what scared me the most.
Is the electric part of stuff. Wiring that. Are you going to do solar or no solar? If you start wiring panels in, that's generally you don't want to burn the whole thing up, right? Short it out and burn it up. So having a high quality electrical build on that, where you're not worried about anything, is huge.
Yeah, the last thing you want is like a wire to melt down in the wall of a van.
Yeah.
I mean, so the electricals, and the cool thing is they put them all like color code all the wires and everything. So like if you do have a problem, you can call them, and they can be like, well, find the green wire, cut the red wire, cut the green wire.
You have 10 seconds.
Yeah. But you can like call them, and they can diagnose it based on the color of the wire.
Yeah.
Electrical system in those things is huge. But like really, if you build them, there's not really an option to take them out, or I wouldn't even consider taking the electrical system out.
No way.
I'm trying to think of other like little things.
I mean, the mood lighting.
The accent lighting's pretty.
Do we have a picture of that we could throw up for folks?
I don't think so.
Mood lighting, man. Tell you what, it's like been the best kid babysitter. Like it's turned into a kid playground.
Yeah, it is.
Kids love it, which is nice. Like having the kids outside, wanting to take the van places, wanting to play in the van, wanting to be out there versus inside watching someone else play with toys on YouTube Kids is definitely that's worth the price of admission right there.
Yeah, my kids play in it all the time. They want to like climb in it and climb up to the top bunk. They love it.
Yeah, for sure.
But so like another big thing that I haven't mentioned yet is that, and this is really important, everything in the van is made basically out of marine grade materials.
Yeah.
So
that was probably the biggest selling point for me was.
Yeah.
We're going to use it where you're going to get dirty.
Everything's going to get dirty.
You can wash your bike
wet.
off and stuff, but let's be realistic. You're not going to get all the dirt off, and it's going back in. Or if you're out doing a hike and you come back dirty and muddy, hopping in a place that's wood floors and cozy and comfy may seem nice, but that's not going to hold.
Yeah, like wood over time can warp, and. Sometimes it bends and breaks instead of just bending. So, the having everything be aluminum and ABS plastic and foam core and polycarbonate floor panels and all that kind of stuff, really helps. One, it's easy to clean.
Yeah, oh yeah.
You just wipe it down.
You're not afraid to use it.
I take my blower.
Yes.
I take my blower in there and open the back doors and blow it out, and then wipe down the floor panels, and it's clean as a whistle.
good to go.
But it's not going to trap any smells. You're not going to, like, if you spill water in
Unless
it.
Stitch is with you.
Yeah, well, the dog, I'm sorry. You can, it's not going to trap smells. It's not going to, you're not going to worry about mold and stuff like that because there's really no carpet in it to mold. It's all plastic and aluminum. So that was a big thing, looking through there, like really, I am such a fan of like van builds and stuff like that. I probably follow 30 different builders on Instagram, and they put out some really cool van builds and designs, and they're so modern or rustic or whatever, boho, whatever. But all I can think about when I like look at those is, where the hell's my bike gonna go?
Yeah.
Where when
I come home sweaty from an adventure, from going and doing stuff.
Am I gonna want
to be active? I mean, these are built for active people, essentially.
Yeah. Like I'm not. There's no way in hell I'm gonna throw a muddy bike in there, or my muddy clothes, or whatever. Like they look so good, but then I'm like,
they make good Instagram pictures. They make good for Instagram with the back doors open and your feet overlooking the ocean.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Perfect.
I just want. I want to like start doing pictures of that, and then like
mud filled.
Ours, real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Real life. What happens?
Yeah, use them. We want them used.
Yeah. So, like the big thing, like with the Do model, is you take everything out. It can be basically a cargo van if you need it for that. I mean, I've moved furniture in it. I've gone to Lowe's and picked up lumber.
I got my Christmas tree in it.
So, I mean, just the functionality, and I know we're like beating the dead horse here, but the functionality of these things is so much more, because it's a daily driver. It's it's a sleeper. It's a, cargo van. It's passenger van. It is still built off a passenger platform, so you still have the heat and air, like the rear heat and air in there, which is clutch.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Crank that thing up on a cold morning.
And you can put 8 people in that Live model.
Yeah.
Like you can seat 8 with seat belts.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, it really could be a daily driver if you really wanted to be. Like if you wanted to choose one vehicle, if you're in the market for a new vehicle and you're someone who wants to get out, once a month or a couple times a month to go experience your area and you love to travel. I mean, it'd be that or a Tahoe, that or a Suburban or an Expedition. I mean, I'd go that.
If you're a salesperson, you have to carry around a bunch of stuff to show, like
maybe you're a pharmaceutical salesperson.
Yeah.
Just carry all your drugs.
There's a lot of drugs in there. A lot of drugs in those vans. So we'll be traveling a decent amount this summer. Starting now.
We're actually renting these out.
Yeah, that's kind of part of it. Is we wanted to have them, but we enjoy it so much. We wanted to like share, so to speak. I guess you can you're charging for it, but yes, but we're willing to share the vans with anybody who wants to try out this type of van life, I guess you would say, athlete van life. So you can you can find, check us out. It's the business is going to be called Adventure Rig Rentals. And then you can find us on Instagram at adventure_rig_rentals. We had to be careful with the name. There was a couple other people who were using Adventure Rig in their handles. But yeah, you can go online and check out the vans. There's all kinds of pictures of them, and
that website is, for those that are just listening and aren't seeing, it's adventurerigrentals.com.
Yep.
But you can sign up for our little newsletter, spam-free newsletter, where right now we're doing 10% off on all the rentals. So and we're doing introductory pricing. So if you're someone who wants to test out the van life, or has an adventure you've been wanting to do, or you've been wanting to head over to Bentonville and experience all those trails that they've got to offer, and or bounce back and forth. I know we were talking before we went on how you were wanting, or you're planning on going out west and going and seeing places like, Bryce and Zion and Grand Canyon, and you can do day trips, stay overnight, do day trips, find a place you love, stay a few nights, kind of thing. So we've already got some people booking it up. Smoky Mountains, the
one's
beach,
going to like I said, one of the vans is going to the Mountain Mist 50K this weekend, and then we do have. So if you watch the little video we've got going on, or if you can't see it, we've got another little mini camper too that we got just to try out. It's all that get up and go, like that thing can be hooked up to a Jetta, and you can play. It only weighs like 1,200 pounds. So that's kind of the premise of everything. But yeah, I mean, you can check out all the Ragnar. That was another one that comes to mind. You got a smaller Ragnar team, perfect vehicle for Ragnar, and you don't have to spend the entire 2 days in a 12-passenger vehicle with nowhere really to lay down.
There may or may not be a little fridge inside to hold ice-cold beverages.
There is a fridge. I forgot to mention that. There's a fridge. Basically any event that stages at a state park, you're going to be there. You're going to be at the start line before everybody. And, if you're like me, especially with triathlon, I like to get in transition first. I don't like being like early, like being the first one there, but I like getting my transition spot.
Yeah.
So my plan is to sleep as close as possible to transition, and then just like get up, like, and go put my bike in
with
transition.
Your French press coffee, just walk.
Go put my bike in transition
while the water's boiling. Go put it in transition. All right, so events we're planning on going to.
Yeah, I mean, we're like big ones. Like we are both the vans will be at Big Sugar.
Yep.
So the Big Sugar gravel race in Bentonville this year, it's first year event. Same people that are doing Dirty Kanza.
Yep.
So we're gonna have both the vans at Big Sugar. I have a really big feeling that there'll be a lot of VanDOit vans at Big Sugar, because Bentonville is only a hop, skip, and a jump there from Kansas City. So that's a big one. I have a feeling that somebody will probably rent a van.
We've already had some people say if they get in, they want to rent them for Dirty Kanza.
Just waiting.
We're still pondering whether or not we're going to go, so we might just block them off for ourselves for that one. Huh?
Yeah.
Be selfish.
Yeah. Just block it out.
Or you could go on there right now and block it off for yourself.
Yeah. So there's a good chance that you'll probably see one at Leadville. We had an athlete last year who took his van to Leadville and literally slept 100 yards from the start line.
Yep.
And, he said it was like the most convenient thing ever.
Yeah.
So Leadville's probably a good chance. So for me personally, duathlon nationals and triathlon nationals. So Tuscaloosa, Alabama and Milwaukee, Wisconsin, will be traveling in the vans. It's yet to be seen. Probably in Tuscaloosa, I'll camp because Milwaukee, the course is more in town, like in downtown. It may not be as convenient to do it, but we'll be traveling in the van anyways. And then obviously for later in the year, Walking Tall.
Yeah, we took, that was the first time we took them out.
Yeah.
It was Walking Tall.
That was their first adventure, and we'll be back there again this year.
From the roadside Masters Nationals. I'm not 100% sure I'm going. We've already had one person reach out about maybe being interested in taking the van, but Cedar City, Utah, like we just talked about your trip you're hoping to do.
Yeah.
I mean, you're right in a hotbed of some of the most beautiful national parks out there. So that would be a sweet place.
Yeah, go. That's the whole. It's one of the big things. Is go. You're integrating, your family experience, adventure, and then you're racing as well. So you can get out there, do the race, have some good accommodations close to the start, less anxiety, do the race. And then
family's there, your family's comfortable.
Right. And then just patrol the national parks and, have, a really good vacation out of it. It's like a win-win-win for everybody.
Exactly. And yeah, I mean, that's most of the, I don't have a set, road schedule or anything thus far, but it's going to be I already was chatting last night with the fam about wanting them to go to more events and take the van, and they're like, yeah, for sure. Like this is going to make it a little more fun and easy to do, as opposed to having young kids taking all your gear, all of your stuff from your car to hotels, back to your car, going and sitting in some parking lot, having to go sit in the sun. Like, it's going to make for a more enjoyable weekend, which means I'm probably going to get to race a little more because the family's there with me and they're having a good time. Then I don't have to pick and choose quite as much, when I'm going to be away, because I can just bring those people I like with me.
Just bring them along.
All
right. I think that's all we got. Well, I think we were pretty clear on our enthusiasm for
definitely
for van venturing.
Van Ventures. And yeah, if you're someone who's interested in testing them out, for sure, hit us up. If you're someone who's already done some adventure vanning, let us know how your trips were, your tips, secrets.
Yeah, if you've got things
stuff that might help out other people. And I would also love to hear, like, what would be like your ideal place to go if you had, if you used one of these or had one of your own. Like, where would you take it?
Yep.
I'd like to go check out like Blue Ridge Parkway.
Yeah.
Smoky Mountains. Go ride some of that stuff. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we appreciate you guys hanging out, listening, watching. We will catch you guys next time. Adios.
Peace.